Thank you for joining me today. Today's session, the 5 deadly sins that CPAs and accountants make in building their practice. I want to talk to you about this is Business 101. You have to determine what type of practice you would like to build. Your employees or employee needs to understand what you're looking for. If you develop a marketing strategy, you need to define the market. It's just elementary. You need to understand what services are you going to provide to your clientele. Which services are you not? And I want to first share a story with you. It has such an impact on me. I want to share it with you. I'll never forget it. I was driving down a street here in my hometown. Went by a auto repair shop. And it was an absolute disaster. Here it is on the road, and you got cars all over the place. It doesn't look like there's any organization whatsoever. But it did have a sign, big sign, out front. And it said, "We specialize in all cars." And I thought to myself, doesn't he understand that's not specializing? That's as far from specialized as you could possibly have. I guess the only thing he doesn't do is work on bicycles or motorcycles. I don't know. And what I have found that most CPAs, when they build their practice or try to build their practice, that pretty much is what they're saying. We specialize in everything. So what I want to talk to you today, it's very important that you really let the people know your brochures, if you have brochures, on the marketing strategy, whatever. You need to understand and let people know, what are you all about? What can you do a great job on for them? So let's talk about types of a practice. See, if you don't define it, it could be all the way from being an off-site CFO, an off-site bookkeeper, all the way to auditing. And the difference between those two services, or those services are like day and night, and you know that. What do you want to provide? When I built the franchise, this was in the early 90s, it was all about helping the small business owner succeed in their practice. We provided monthly processing to them at an affordable price. We did tax returns for them, but that was our market. If a larger client came to me and said, "Are you interested in doing my work?" No, I really don't do work for larger clients. I could, but that's not my market. My market are smaller clients, family-owned businesses. Those grossing less than, let's say, $500,000. That was my market. I defined my market. I'd like for you to do that, because most CPAs and accountants do not. The second thing, you may want to specialize in various industries. As you know, a contractor, a building contractor, is totally different than an auto repair. So you may want to specialize. Now, mine was defined in small businesses with a franchise, because in a small business, it doesn't matter if you're a small contractor, small auto repair, the problems are basically the same. But as these companies get bigger, you've got job cost and you've got various tax situations on each one of them. And it does change. And then you can define by size of clients, which I've been talking about. But you need to define your market. Any other business does that. A retail operator. He defines the market. This is what I'm going to sell. Now let's talk about how does this defining your type of business you're going to service, how does this relate to the other deadly sins? Because these deadly sins we're talking about, most CPAs all are having these problems. But when you define the type of business, it's much easier to find employees and train employees and have employees doing the most of the work, if not all of the work. And we're going to talk about having ordinary people producing extraordinary results. The only way you can do that is that when something comes in to be done in the office, everything is not an exception. Everything is not new. There's systems in place. And we'll talk to you about that in another section. Very exciting section. So we've already talked about you need to define your market to define a marketing strategy. It affects who you hire, how you train them, and how they do the work. So they kind of all are together. But this is the basics. You need to define the market. Advertise it. Let people know. When someone comes into you and you're a CPA, then they say, I'm looking for a forensic CPA. Don't sit there and say, I can do that. Thinking that as soon as they leave, you're going to have to research and find out what a forensic CPA does. You need to say, that's not a service that I provide. I would like to know what you want done, because you may not need a forensic CPA, you just may need a CPA with basic skills. And so let me find out what you're wanting. I mean, I wouldn't turn away, but at least find out if they are really looking for a forensic CPA. That's a defined specialty. And that's what I'm talking about. You need to understand what you're good at. What services can you provide? And give them a value proposition that they're going to love what you're doing and refer other people. So in this deadly sin, I want you to first define your market. It's not very difficult. And here again, we've talked about this. You'll hear about every time I talk to you, I talk about the most important thing you can do is make sure you've got a marketing strategy that's producing a consistent and predictable flow of new clients. We've got one. And if you're interested learn more about it, I'd love to talk to you. So thanks for joining me today. And let's just make sure that you start off your practice, or at least start thinking in terms of, what do I want my market to be? Who do I want to service? What can I do best for my clients? Thanks for joining me.